I'm about to do my first look using the Barbie and Pure palette. If you want to see how it turns out, then stick around. Okay, little puppy interruption. If I am able to, I will put a little bit of that video in the corner there. All right, anyway, we are going to use this Pure and Barbie palette. The reason, oh, and there's a little plastic right on the metal. That's cool. Let's take that off as I interrupt myself. Okay, so here we go. Folks like this, I know, so let's peel the plastic off. That is just so satisfying. All right, so let's take a look inside. Now I did look at it, obviously not closely because I didn't notice the plastic, but I did open it up just to make sure it wasn't broken. I actually did that in store. Why not check the palette before you leave? And this is what the inside looks like. And it's very festive, very wintry. I think that's great given we're just about mid-November at this point when I'm opening this up. And why did I get this palette? Two reasons. One of them is a person that I interact with on a regular basis, Sarah, hello Sarah, is a very big fan of Pure. And I've been looking at Pure for a while, and then there was Raw Beauty Christie's collab, and I hemmed and hawed about that one. And I've looked at a few palettes, and none of them really spoke to me, but I do kind of like this color story. It's somewhat neutral. Well, it is neutral except for a couple of pops of color, but it feels fun and entertaining. It's aesthetically pleasing. I'm not huge on Barbie, but when you look at the palette itself, it's not overly Barbie. It's more the box on the outside. Let me show you again. That's very Barbie, but the palette itself is not overly Barbie other than being Barbie pink. And so I thought, well, Sarah's big on the brand. I'd like to try Pure. And I kept it in the back of my mind. And then a 20 times the points event showed up at Shoppers, and on top of it there was 14,000 points, which means $14 Canadian off the palette on top of it. So I was getting 30% off and then another 14,000 points. So basically this palette was around half off. Sold, right? It got me over the edge and I picked it up. So that's the whole story about the Barbie palette. And normally what I do is I do swatches first, then do a first impressions, and then move on from there. Well, today I'm doing things differently. I'm not going to swatch the palette. I'm going to try to figure it out just as is and create a look with you. And I'm kind of debating a little bit. I've used a lot of this type of combination recently, so I should probably stay away from that because, well, I've done it at least 3 times in the last couple weeks, and I should do something a little bit different. And I don't want to swatch. I want to do things differently today, so I'm not going to swatch. Let's see. I think I might do... Am I going to? I was going to say an all matte look, but no. I like using mattes. I think I'm going to use some shimmer. I think I'm going to go into, at a minimum, this color, and this color, and then we'll just complement with some other colors in the middle here. Okay, we have our plan, I think, and I always reserve the opportunity or option to change my mind. Okay, we're diving in. We're diving in. Going to go with my favorite fluffy brush from Quo. Quo is a Canadian brand sold at Shoppers Drug Mart. And I'm going to go for, let's go straight in with the mustard. So that little guy right here, that's what I'm going to use. It's kind of an orangey mustard. Okay, and going right in with the one eye. And I'm just going to do the one eye and do the other eye off camera so that I'm not taking up too much of your time. If you hear me say that every video, my apologies, but again, trying to respect your time and letting you know what I'm up to. Just going to go in again. So buildable so far. All right, that works. think I'm going to go as well on the lower lid, but I'm going to use a different brush. Don't know what that skipping was about. Okay, on one side only of this angled brush from Sephora. So I'm putting it just on the one side so I have more control. All right, I can deal with that. Now I had some highlighter already on the brow bone, but is there, well, there's not really, there's a matte highlighter, but I think I'm just going to leave it as is. And because there's no kind of shiny brow bone highlight, and I think I'm just going to go a little bit higher with the mustard. Okay, now I said I wanted to use that turquoisey blue. Let's do that next. I'm going to use a packer brush and go into this blue and use it on the outer lid, and then we'll go from there. I feel like using this brush, and it is a Sephora brush called the Small Shadow Brush. Let's go in to that turquoisey color, and I've got a fluff on my brush. Okay, once again, just this this color right here, just to make sure that you know what I'm up to. Somehow I think I'm going to have to build it up. That's my impression right off the hop. I don't know if it's a fair impression because I had it before I even put that shadow on my eyelid. Didn't want to go in too heavy right off the hop. I'm feeling a bit more confident. So I'm going to go in with my smaller crease brush. I'm going to go into the crease more so with that color. Okay. And a bit more of that color with that same brush I used to start off that color. Okay, I think that looks reasonably well. I think I'm going to use a smudger brush and bring that green to the outer lower lid / lower lash line. Okay, back into that color with my smudger brush, and this is a Sephora smudger brush from the Smoke, I think it was called Smoked or Smoke Show Quint of eyeshadow brushes. I think it was a good name for that set. I picked up a beige handle and a gray handle set of brushes from Sephora when I was getting into brushes, not knowing exactly what it is I wanted. And it did inform me a little bit for what to do going forward after that purchase. And so I think that it's helpful to buy brushes that are not super expensive at the beginning. And the sets from Sephora tend to be not so expensive. And just figure out what you even like, you know? Just taking this brush to clean off the bottom, I often do that just to make sure I don't have extra color going where I don't want it to go. And now I want to add a little bit of something on the inner to center-ish lid. And I don't feel like there's a whole lot. I kind of feel like there are two colors that I could use, this one or this one. I think, I know I used the mustardy color, but I think I'm going to go in for the pink. I don't know. I think the pink and the green are going to go well together. I think it's also going to go with the mustard, but that's the one I'm kind of not sure about. I'm using my multitasker brush from Smashbox. That is a very nice brush, I find, to get into the corner. And for the mustard, I want to go to the brow bone. It's not quite up high enough for me, for my preference. Okay, back to the multitasker brush, picking up the kick up, and away I go. Now, once I'm happy with what I've put down, I'll probably go to my finger to finish up. So I have, just going to talk a little bit as I'm trying to do this, although that did not work out well. Holy clumpy. Wow. All right, let's see if I can fix it with a brush. That was not pretty at all. Usually a finger application works really well, and boy, did it not. Let's try that again now that there's less on the finger. Usually it glides on and it just kind of clumped in place. That's not pretty. Not pretty, not fun. But it cleared up pretty good. Okay, well, I'm going to go back in with the brush and then try to stamp it down with the finger, just to add a little bit more color. So that pink is the first problematic shadow that I've used out of the 4 now. No, 3 that I've used so far. Thinking 4, but the 4th is the highlighter that did not come from that palette. Just picking up the kick up and going in, and I think I need to use a different finger because I've got a little bit of green contamination now on that ring finger. I'll just wipe it off. Okay, clean finger, and I'm going to go back into the pink without picking up too much. Let's try that out. Okay. I want to add more depth to the green. I'm going to use a denser packer brush. Okay, I'm going to use this one from Smashbox, which is called the Full Coverage shadow brush. I'm just going to go into the green again and just add some, get more color going. Okay, I think that that is pretty good. Just using my ring finger again to put a little bit of the pink over top to the center lid here, just over the center. And I think that we're good. Okay, so I am happy with this look as a first impressions. I am going to go and recreate this look on the other side and then come back and we can finish the look together. Okay, I think I have pretty much the same eye look on both sides. Maybe a little bit more yellow here, but I think it's very, very close. So what I want to do is I want to finish up the look, and so I'm going to finish it up with you. I'm going to start off with a black liner on my upper waterline. If you are squeamish, look away. So I had that at the beginning of the video. I had it on already, but it does fade a little bit as I'm doing makeup applications. So I like to just add some more, and I think it's just, you know, eyes water a little bit or that kind of a disturbance. So I like to add it back on at the end. All right. And when you're going into the waterline, just make sure your pencil is nice and sharp. I sharpened it before the video. All right, that works out. And now I'm going to go in with a, it's a felt, no, it's a brush tip liner. The Clinique Pretty Easy. And it's getting older and works better for me now that it's older. It was a little bit too liquidy at the beginning. Just felt like it was a runaway liner at the beginning. And I'm so surprised at how differently it behaves now. Okay, that's the upper lash line. Now for the lower lash line, one thing I didn't do is bring out my micro smudger. It's the precision smudger from Smashbox. And I think I'm going to go in with a mixture of this shadow and this shadow to do my liner on the lower lash line. So I'm going to finish up the green and then I'm going to go in with some brown to kind of deepen it up. Here's my precise smudger right here. It's very tiny. And so I'm going to go in with the green first and just finish up the line on the inner third. Might have to go back and forth between the two colors. But yeah, okay. I was scared the mirror was hiding part of my face, and it's not. Okay, so that looks reasonably good. I'm just wiping it off on a towel. I'm going to use this again and go into that dark brown as I mentioned. Wow, that base is reflective with the ring light, so sorry if I'm blinding you. And I think the deep brown, I'm going to go more along the lash line inside of the green. And I will dispense with any sort of regular crayon liner because I won't need it. The eyeshadow will do the trick today. Yeah, I like that. It's deep enough brown that it looks okay. All right, so that is the liner, upper and lower lash line and waterline. And I think I am ready for some mascara, so let's do that next. And I'll still use the palette. I'm going to go in with my Perversion mascara from Urban Decay. And I really like the volumizing nature of the Perversion mascara. It does not volumize a ton at the very beginning, but as it dries a little bit, it is great. If you like volume, the brush is very much volumizing. But if you like volume and you get Perversion and you're disappointed, hang tight, it gets better. If you want one that just works right off the hop, and it's, well, they're all about the same price when it comes to luxury mascaras, except for Pat McGrath, which is even more expensive. Monsieur Big from Lancôme is awesome, and so is the Stila Huge. So those two I can recommend. Shoot, there was transfer onto my upper lid, well, near on my brow bone is what where the transfer is. I will let it dry and I will fix it once all the mascara is on. That doesn't happen very often to get transfer up there. I must have been distracted talking about mascara and I messed up my mascara. Oh well. Yeah, I really like the effect of this mascara. I'm probably going to go in for a second coat. I have to think about a second coat because I've been using the Cil Booster from Lancôme with the Définicil from Lancôme. And so now I'm used to, when I get to mascara, just doing one coat, but that's because I did the primer. So now I have to think with mascara to go back and do a second coat if I so choose. Okay, and going in for the second eye again. Might be a little quick, but we don't have all day. Okay, a little clumpy on this side, but let me try to separate some here. Okay, well, I'm a little clumpy on that one side, but I'm not going to start over my mascara. However, I'm going to fix the boo-boo that I made on this side by just flaking off the little bit of mascara that ended up on the wrong spot on my brow bone. And I think that we're good. I think it's a It's an unusual pairing of colors, and if I were to start that again, I probably would not use this color. I probably would have used this color, because I think that this goes better together, or this one, this one, this one, and this one. I don't think that I would have gone for this yellow, but we're just trying things out, and I mean, it's not bad. I think that the kind of orangey yellow and the pink with the green is just a little bit of a weird pairing. So I'm going to go off camera, refresh my lip color, and put some setting spray on, and I'd like to give you my thoughts on this first impressions. Okay, I think the shadows performed fine. I was a little surprised with the pink and how it clumped up on my finger, but I mean, there's a pattern on the shadows, and it could be that I just kind of picked up one of the ridges and it just kind of came off on my finger. I think it might have been a fluke. Something that I'm not too crazy about regarding the palette is that the size of these little triangular shapes are not great. These lozenge shapes that make up the snowflake, not a big deal, but I think that this is going to be annoying to get the brush into the corners, whereas at least in these other ones, there's more room for the brush to maneuver. And I think that it's rare to completely finish shadows. So I don't think like I said, the center ones are not a big deal, but these little triangle ones, I think that they would get annoying after a while, and they're very, very small pans. And let's see what it says as far as size. Okay, 16 grams total is the amount of product in the this palette, and there are 15 pans total, with 4 of them being of the smaller size. I like the color selection. I can see a lot of looks that I could do with it. I pushed myself to do something that I wouldn't necessarily combine because I think that's just more fun. And the other thing that I think is a little bit annoying about the palette is the reflective base. You can see all my fingerprints already here. And then if you take a look at the mirror, I'll try not to blind you when I show you. Hopefully you'll be able to see. You'll see possibly some ridges on the bottom here. And it's the plastic, and there's no tab or anything to take the plastic off. So I actually took out some tweezers here, and I'm going to try to lift off from the center right here. I think you can see those ridges now. I'm going to try to lift off from the center the plastic. So it's not super, okay, it's coming up pretty easily. But usually there's a tab or something, and it just makes it look cheap that they didn't kind of care about that. And the mirror, there's that clasp up at the top, and so they couldn't put the mirror all the way up. So that just kind of, yeah, it gives the palette a cheap feel, even though the base of it's a very pretty design. So I don't know if they had to cheapen up the palette because they had to pay for the rights to use the Barbie name, something like that. But overall, the rest of the palette, I like. I like. The shade names are on the back, which I didn't even give you. The yellow, let's do this. The yellow is Friendship. The green is Barista Ken. Then the deep brown is Innovator. And the pink in the middle is Icon. Yeah, Friendship, Icon, Barista Ken, and Innovator is what we used today. Okay, that's it from me. I think that for the price I paid, I'm super, super happy with this palette. I will be doing some more looks with it. If I had paid $44, no discount, no nothing, I think I would have been left wanting more. But having paid around 20 bucks for it, I feel like I would probably have been happy paying 30, not 44. Yeah, and it's not a clasp, it is a magnetic closure. I don't think I mentioned that, but those are my thoughts. And by the way, the back is just a sticker, and I don't know if you can see it's lifting on the one side. So if you care a whole lot about having a reference, a permanent reference, it's probably not going to necessarily stay on the palette. And let me take a look at the box. Oh, they are, though, on the box as well, so that's helpful as well. Okay, I am done. Let me know what you think of this look. Would you have done things differently? Do you love, hate any of the shadows? I would love to hear what you think of this palette. And if you have this palette and you have favorite color combinations, please share with us. Let us all know in the comments so that we can make the best use of this little puppy. And for now, I'll say thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it every single time. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And for now, take care.